So welcome again everyone, again with a new topic. I Nidhi Ahuja welcome you all with a new topic, that is lines and angles. So I hope everybody is ready to understand the concept behind this chapter. Yes, so let's go without wasting a minute. We'll start up with this chapter, but as I always used to tell you, we should start from the base. So first I'm going to explain you about what is a line, what is line segment, right? A quick recap you can say, and a ray, right? So we'll do a quick recap of all these so that we can move ahead, right? So what is a line? You know this, but let's start. Line, you can say, which does not have any end point, right? It doesn't have the fixed length, it doesn't have any end points, so it can be extended in both the direction. What this arrow denotes, it denotes that it can extend in this direction also and in this direction also, just like a rubber band. You can stretch it in both the ways, right? So that is why it doesn't have a fixed length. Okay, and how to write down that this is a line? Let us name it. Let's say AB. So if whenever you see this symbol, so you can easily understand that they are talking about a line, right? Now what is a line segment? Which has two end points. Okay, so end point means it must have the fixed length. So when you see in your books, when you see the question, it is every time given, draw a line segment of 4 centimeter, 5 centimeter and so on. You cannot see the question like draw a line of 4 centimeter, right? As it doesn't have a fixed length, right? So line segment, how it should be written? It should be written like this. So with the symbol written, over this TE can easily tells you that we are talking about a line segment. So line segment, unlike a line, it has two end point, it has a fixed length and it cannot be extended, right? Let us talk about a ray. So how ray is to be drawn? Like this. We can name it A, B. So by the figure itself you can understand a ray has one end point and it can be extended in one direction. So whenever you see the symbol like this given to you, you can easily find out that we are talking about a ray. But the thing which is really important to understand is, like line segment can be written like this also, or line segment can be written like this also, but ray we cannot write it like this. Why? Because we know the initial point is at A, not at B. So this is wrong. We cannot write down like this. I hope you understood both the things. So you understood the concept of line segment and a ray, right? So now let us move forward with another concept. This was your basic thing which I have explained to you. Now let us come to the another level, that is the angle. So what is an angle? You can say when two line segments or two rays meet at a point, they form an angle. So we can call it angle, right? These two rays, you can say OA and OB. These two rays form an angle between them. So whenever they ask you to write down the ray, the name of the arms of an angle, how are you going to write it down? Write down like this, OB and OA. If you write it down AO, again it will be wrong. As I have explained you, when I explained you ray, that time I explained the initial points is from O, not at A, right? So how you write down the arms? In this way you have to write down the arms of the angle. So these are the arms. You can see these two are the arms of an angle, right? Now let us move forward. How to write down the name of the angle? Let us write down the angle. It is, you can write down, either you can write down angle O, the vertex, right? The angle is at the vertex. Or you can write down POA, or we can write down it as AOB. So by these three you can easily find out the vertex at which the angle is being formed should be written in the center, right? I hope you understood the concept of angle. Okay, now next is, I'm going to explain you the intersecting lines and parallel lines. So let us understand intersecting lines. So what are intersecting lines? By the name itself you can find out which intersect each other, right? Which intersect each other or which cut each other at a point. We call them intersecting lines. We name it like this is L and this is M. So we can say L and M are intersecting each other at point O, right? So these are called intersecting lines. And intersecting lines, if you see that there's one angle here and an angle here also. So 4 angles are formed, and we can say, if we name it as 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can write down angle 1 is equals to angle 2 and angle 3 is equals to angle 4. Why we can write down this? We have the reason, dear, because they both the pairs are vertically opposite angles, right? So these are vertically opposite angles. So whenever you see that they are making cross, it means the opposite angle. These are vertically opposite angle, and of course, as I have written the sign of equal to in between, it means their measurements will be same. So how the question can come on vertically opposite angles? It can come like this. They'll give you the lines, and they used to give you, suppose this is 40 degree, and they ask you to find out this angle. You can simply easily write it down that angle 1 will be 40, and reason is vertically opposite angles. I hope you understood. Very good. Now let us come to another concept of parallel lines. So what are parallel lines? The lines which will never meet are called parallel lines. But this is not the sufficient definition. Why? Let us understand. Parallel lines, right? So parallel lines are the lines which cannot meet, and the important thing is the distance between them remains the same, right? This distance should remain the same. That is important. Then we can say that yes, L is parallel to M. And how we write down? Like this. This is the symbol for parallel line. So we can write down, if this is written like this, so you can easily say that yes, L is parallel to M. If somebody says, is this line, these lines are parallel lines, you'll easily can find out, no, these lines are not parallel. Why these lines are not parallel? Because you can see the distance is not the same all over, right? So that is the reason the lines are not parallel. I hope you understood intersecting lines and parallel lines. Next comes another thing, that is, you must have heard about complementary angles, supplementary angles. So the two angles are called complementary when we can call the pair of angles complementary when the sum of that angles is giving 90 degree, and when they are said to be supplementary when it gives the sum as 180 degree, right? To just remember it easily, we can write down the complementary starts from C and the supplementary starts from S. So one curve means the sum should be 90 degree, and two curves means the sum is 180 degree. I hope you understood this thing also, complementary angles and supplementary angles, right? So next concept is, that is really very important concept. And what is that concept? That is about again parallel lines. What's that? If suppose I gave you two parallel lines and there will be one line, suppose L and M, and one line which intersect these two lines, we call this line as transversal. So what is a transversal? We can say transversal is a line which intersect the parallel line or non-parallel lines at distinct point. You can say it intersect this line at this point and this is at this point. So we can say what is a transversal? A line which intersects the given line at the distinct points. Now if you see this figure, you can find out so many angles forming here. Can you see? Let us write down the name. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can see that there are 8 angles in the given figure, right? And how we can find out? First, you should understand the names of these angles. Really very important concept. So kindly pay attention, listen very carefully. Now, let us understand the names. First, you should understand the exterior angle, exterior angles, and interior angles, right? So what are exterior and what are interior angle? Very easily you can find out from the name itself. Exterior which are outside and interior which are inside. But where? Inside means in between these lines, right? So exterior angle, like you can say whatever the angles which are inside these two lines are interior and outside are the exterior angles. So we can easily say that angle 1, 2, angle 8 and angle 7 are exterior angles. Now interior angle, very easily we can find out angle 3, 4, 5 and angle 6. These are interior angles, right? So I hope you understood the exterior and the interior angles. Really important to understand, then only we can go ahead, right, to understand different type of angles. I hope it is clear. Let us move forward, right? Okay. Next is another thing which I am going to explain you. Before that, I just want to give a quick recap of a thing, that is, do you remember the adjacent angles? Okay, I'll explain you the adjacent angles and the linear pair because they are going to help here, right? So what are linear pair? Pair of angles which we can see on a straight line. So these two angles, see angle 1 and angle 2, they form linear pair. And what is the sum of these angles? It is 180 degree. So what we can call these, the pair of these angles? Right, supplementary angles. Very good. Next concept is of adjacent angle. Suppose we form one angle and one more angle. So you can see here this angle and this angle, angle 1 and angle 2. Let us name this figure A, B, C and D. If you see angle 1, A, B, D, right, and angle 2, D, B, C, they are adjacent angles. Why these angles are adjacent? Because they are sharing the same vertex, right? There is a common arm in between these angles, right? So that is, these are the 2 points through which we can say yes, the given angles are adjacent, right? And they have their own areas. They are not sharing their area here, right? It is having its own area, this is having its own space, right? So what are the adjacent angles? The angle sharing the common vertex. If suppose I write it down the name, I write an angle A, B, D and angle D, B, See, so you can see they are sharing the same vertex and there is a common arm, that is DB. See, right? So we call them adjacent angle. So I hope you understood linear pair and adjacent angle. Very nice. Now let us move ahead. Now what you're going to understand here? You're going to understand alternate interior angles and alternate exterior angles, and that I'm going to explain you in the next video. Okay, so keep watching. Take care. Bye bye.